It's October 5th. Another beautiful fall morning. Supposed to go 27 today, and it's already 13, which is a bit warmer than some mornings. So looks like my lens is very. So let's just do a quick clean of that. I can tell when the sun shines on it, and it looks like fog when there's no fog. There. Hopefully that helps. Well, it has certainly confused the gimbal. Okay, we'll turn that off. Turn it back on again. There we go. Isn't that fun? Okay, now I'm back. As I started to say, it's a lovely morning. I'm going in shirt sleeves because I know I'll warm up as I walk. Thought I'd walk along College just to see how they're doing over there at the Dark Hall that they've been working on, and the landscaping, and walk by all those buildings. And then I don't know how I'll come back, but that's the first part anyway. So I'm going up Angus Crescent, but I'm going to go over to Leopold because I don't walk along it as often. And we'll go along Leopold Crescent. On our way to College. I do get the feeling my horizon may be particularly skewed after my little adventure in lens cleaning there. Oh well, it is what it is. Apparently the gimbal turns itself off if you hold on to it. That's what seemed to happen there. So I'm sure there were some interesting shots there for a moment. So again, this is Leopold Crescent, which I don't walk along nearly as often. It's interesting that the houses over here sit at an angle to the crescent, while the ones on this side face it. So I don't know if they have more of a true north-south orientation, possibly. I'd have to think about that. No, it's more like a... No, that wouldn't even be it. They just sit at an angle. Besides, if I go this way, we can go by the giant grasshopper, which we haven't done for a while. I'll have to cross the street again, but we'll take a peek at the grasshopper. Guy walking his dog wearing a mask, I don't get that. And another dog, always dogs. Somebody's got a little library. Here's the grasshopper. Looking a little thin now as the season wears on. But was created by artist Wolf Perot. Okay, we'll want to be on the other side again to get up to College. You can't cross the street on this side of college. You have to cross it on the other side. As usual, the morning light lights up everything nicely. Royal Saskatchewan Museum over there, but we'll be walking down to it in a minute. That's a new house. We knew the old house on that corner very well, and we're very sorry to see it torn down for this one to be built, because we knew the person who'd lived there for many years. Had been in it many times. I've been in this one once. It's a nice house, but the other one was historic in a way. Very interesting architecture. I'll press that button, but it's really not necessary. All right, well, across here, then to get on the side of college I want, I have to go back the other way again. So not the most efficient way to get here, but works. Albert Street in the morning is busy, even though it's past the busiest time. Come the other way, towards downtown. I hit that just wrong, so had a long wait. We still got a green light. There goes yellow. Now it's our turn. Now we have to cross, going south, we have to cross again, go back the other way. We'll go down to the museum is over there, we'll walk down there and then along in front of all the buildings on College Avenue. School buses on their way to school. Gotta wait for a left turn here because there's a lot of cars come from this direction. Once that changes, then we can cross. And there we go. Come down College. Walk down towards the museum here. Won't be great lighting this time of day. Probably looks better in the camera than it does to me, but we'll take a mosey down to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, home of Scotty the T-Rex. Technically not. Actually, he's in East End, I think, the actual bones. Show fossils, I mean. Fossilized bones aren't actually bones so much as mineral. Anyway, but there's a cast of him here. Largest T-Rex ever uncovered. And I was there when they were digging him out of the ground in the Frenchman River Valley. A long time ago now, 20 years at least. Oh no, wait, I was freelancing already, so it couldn't be 20 years. It'd be 15 anyway. Oh, there you go. So, there's the main entrance of the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Now we'll go this way. So far, nobody has said hello this morning. If you're there on YouTube or Facebook, say hello. Back to see the light. Good light on that building there. Two roads diverged in the Royal Saskatchewan Museum yard, and I took the one to the right. Oh, hello there. Goodbye. He's fairly calm about it, isn't he? Snowshoe hare. Should be turning white before long. We call them rabbits, but really what we get around here are snowshoe hares. Along this side of the museum. Now, I'm actually going to cross the grass, even though it's likely a bit damp. Or will I? I think so. We'll cross the grass. It didn't get very cold last night, so it may not have dewed very much, so... Dude. Should be okay, dude. All that fencing over there is... it's kind of the staging area for the new swimming pool they're building, just behind those trees. Yeah, it's not too wet this morning. Not too dude. Let's see, work-wise, I got some nonfiction work to do today. I'm still working on various things related to Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. I'm going to have a hardcover edition. And I designed the dust jacket yesterday for that. For the one that gets a dust jacket. There'll also be a Amazon hardcover edition, which doesn't take that appearance. I wonder if I should get a new ISBN for that. Or should I do the one? I don't know. Anyway, I'm still working on that. I hadn't thought about the ISBN situation. But if I have two hardcovers that are completely different formats, I can't give them the same ISBN. Of course, the other trouble with the dust jacketed version is it's expensive. It's like $14 a copy for me. And to make any money, I have to put it at, what, almost $35 US, which is a bit high. I could mark it down a little bit, but not that much. Hardcover without a dust jacket with the laminated covers where the image is right on the cover would be about $12 US a copy. So I can't knock it down much. I don't make much money on print orders, but I like to have them. It's a little better on Amazon. I do a separate Amazon version of all my print books. Walking by the credit union building here. That's Dark Hall in front of us. And then to the right here is the joint lobby between the two buildings. All of this is brand new. So when there are events in Dark Hall again, you will use this to get into the building instead of the front doors that we're used to using. There's lights on in there. Don't know how close they're getting. There'll be some sort of grand opening, one would hope. Reopening. Dark Hall was built in about the same time as our house, 1926, I think, maybe a bit earlier, and was the performance space for a long time. So this is what they've been doing all this time. Look, you can compare the picture to the actual thing. So great new interior auditorium and new steps, it looks like, and railings. There's landscaping going on in here. Morning. And this part was done first. It's very nice in there. I have walked through, but I won't because they'd require me to have a mask and I'm not carrying one. If it's even open, I don't know. But it's a pretty building. And that cool tower with the battlements on top. I've actually, I took a dance class once up there. And then Alice took dance up there at one point. So I went up there a few times. This is what they call collegiate Gothic style. In Regina, that means red brick and Tyndallstone. Tyndallstone is a form of limestone. There's this the other entrance. So it's really nice in there now. They did a great job on it. Some parts are completely new, some parts are refurbished. It's in. I wonder if it's been finished. An old lecture theater, which is pretty cool. And one of the things they did was add on the end elevators, which it's never had at all. Now it is. So this brand new area here. There's a frog under that tent over there. This used to be the art department. The university was in this building. So there's some sculptures around. There's another one that's been there forever. Under here, there's a frog. A concrete frog with a mosaic cover, and it's been covered like that for a while. I presume they're trying to restore it. Don't know for sure. In our next building here, we'll go up here and walk along the steps. It's the former education building. There was a teacher's college at one point. It's been various things. It was university. It was the theater building, or at least the theater department was in there when I first moved to Regina. And it's also the Canadian Saskatchewan soundstage. Connects to it. Inside of this, in it, except for the front entrance tower. And it has offices. Creative Saskatchewan's in there. Sask Books, the publishing association on whose board I now sit, is in there. Its offices. And it connects to the Cbc Building, which we'll see in a minute, which with the actual, with some more of the soundstage stuff. The actual soundstage itself is, I'm not actually sure if it's in the new part or the old part. Anyway, it still looks the same on the outside. Haven't had a single hello this morning. It's unusual. Everybody's asleep. So there's its battlemented tower, which again, the inside of that, at least on the ground floor, is still original. You can see there's a coat of arms over the door, Saskatchewan coat of arms. But everything behind the rest of these is brand new. It's just the facade was kept. Now let's see. Let's give it some thought here. I think what I'll do is go up here, walk at least part of the way down College, and then maybe go over into that area. That's what I'll do. It is. Which means we have to cross Broad Street, another busy street. Oh, I might just catch the light here, though. Opposite. I just missed the light. I like that building over there. That apartment building. building over here is a well, it had a coffee shop in it. I don't know if it's still going or not. There's some other offices and stuff. We'll go straight down College here. A bit of sidewalk that's sort of in Charge of Excalibur, my young adult fantasy series, because my character lives a block past Winnipeg, which is the next main street down there. And the first thing she does, she's been suspended from school for fighting. And so she sneaks out of, she hasn't told her aunt, so she sneaks out of the house before her aunt is up and walks down to the lake. And she comes along this sidewalk that's right in front of us on a foggy November morning. And when she gets to the lake, she discovers in the spot which I've shown many times as I walk around the lake, that the Lady of the Lake is in Wascana Lake. So everybody's got to be somewhere. And tells her that she's heir to the power of the Lady of the Lake if she chooses to accept it, and that she and her, not exactly friend, but coincidentally there, it seems coincidentally there, boy named Wally, her name is Ariane, they have to find the scattered shards of Arthur's sword Excalibur before Merlin can, because he's the bad guy in my story. If he gets it, he'll use it to take over the world and then invade his own world of fairy. That's the shards of Excalibur for you, in a nutshell. Okay, going down here, I don't know if I want to go as far as Balfour or not. I'll probably, when I get down. I have no idea how little they do outside. They do nothing, basically. It's just me. I can't make people do what I think is right, and they can't make me do what they think is right. The old buildings here. I'm trying to think what I'll do here. I'll go through here, because I don't usually take this path, so let's take this path this time. I'm really talking to myself today, since nobody has said boo to me. As far as I know, nobody is watching this live at all. So you're probably watching the recording. This, and if you're not watching, don't care. So take this little path here. No, we'll go this way in front of St. Chad's, I think. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Instead of behind it, we'll go in front of it. Is there a sidewalk on the other side? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, I think so. The actual name for this is Anson House. Basically offices, but it is an old house from when this was St. Chad's Theological Seminary at one point. This is a brand new building. All of this was associated with the Anglican diocese, and parts of it still are. A couple of buildings. But a lot of stuff is also new. This is St. Chad's here, which is being redeveloped into condos and I don't know what else. I've always liked its Gothic touches. You look up there. The Gothic door there. They're keeping all that, whatever they're doing inside. There's an auditorium of some sort in there, a hall. There we go. To the glory of God and in memory of William John Burns, 2nd Bishop of Capel, this stone was laid August 6th, AD 1913. Not quite 100 years ago. Not quite 110 years ago. We're getting there. This is St. Chad's, and there's another apostle, I would say, up there. unless it's one of the reformers. Oh, and there's another, the Diocese of Capel image, I would say. A non-historic disposal bin. Oof. Rough territory. Let me think. We'll go this way now. Sort of wandering thing that I'm doing. Oh. There you go. Diocese of Capel site. 1912, the Anglican Church of Canada chose this location to establish an administrative centre for the Diocese of Capel and its educational and missionary activities across southern Saskatchewan between 1912 and 1926. 5 buildings designed by the prominent architects Brown and Valance, Story and Van Egmond, and Francis Portnall did our house, were constructed on the site. These buildings included a residence for the bishop's offices and clergy house for the diocese, and classrooms and residences for the hundreds of young men and women who attended St. Chad's Theological College and the Capel Diocesan School for Girls. The elaborate landscape plan for the grounds, patterned after the Union Jack flag, complemented the stately nature of the buildings and reflected the British heritage of the Anglican Church. Oh, I didn't know the grounds originally had the shape of a Union Jack. That's interesting. I'm not going to go any further down. Actually, I'll go around here. Now, of course, these are all brand new along here. Residences. Sometimes I walk over there, but then I'll be stuck and won't be able to get back into here, I think. So, we'll do this for now. So these are all new, and obviously that's new, but there's the old building again with the sun on it behind us. There might have, oh, actually I guess there was a way through over there. I remember coming through it once before from the Balfour School grounds. Anyway, College Park Retirement Residence. And still nobody has said hello this morning. Nobody loves me. I've been abandoned. Left to my own devices. Sometimes I walk down alleys, but that's a particularly boring one. Just garages on either side. I have a plan now. I'll go back, I'll walk down behind the buildings on the way back on College. Retirement residence. Rather big one, rather nice one. Some of these are just condos, not retirement residences, I think. They could be part of the same complex for people that still want a detached dwelling or semi-detached. I guess I don't know that for sure. And down at the end of the street in front of us is the Cbc Building, which we'll cross at the light up there and go behind that and other things on our way back. On my way back, since I seem to be alone. Reminds me of the row houses I walked by over by our house. That one. Except they're heritage and this is new. Oh, a bit of a yard in there, but it just goes to a boring alley, so I won't bother going down there. Some nice landscaping though. Bit of color in the ivy here. Not as much as that house I saw in Newfoundland, in Brigus, I think it was. Bright red ivy covering part of one wall and onto the roof. Made me think of the alien plants taking over the world and War of the Worlds. And over there is Broadway, next street over there. I saw something about perception of risk today, and that an amazing number of people seem to think that if you get COVID, you have a 50% chance of ending up in the hospital, and it's not. It's like maybe 5%. I think that might be high for hospitalization, and actual infection fatality rate is 0.3 or something like that last time I looked. People think it's, not to say that it's not something you want to get, because clearly you don't, and yes, it could kill you. But the risk perception is so out of whack. And people seem to like it. That's what I can't get it. There are people who really like having to wear masks and all that stuff. And not me. I do it when I have to, but the minute they tell me I don't have to, I'll be out of those things. They want me to cross on the other side of the street. I'm not sure why, but we will. Also, speaking of illness, somebody's coughing their head off over there. Probably a smoker's cough. That's the CBC over there. We'll go behind it, not in, or will we? Oh, actually it's so fenced in, I don't know if I can do what I plan to do there. It's like that fence has expanded till I can't do what I intended to do. So, change the plan. We'll go right, retrace our steps momentarily. These buildings are all new, but tie in nicely with the other buildings around here. You can see they bear a resemblance to the college buildings. Provincial archives are in here too. They didn't used to be. Last time I was to the archives for research, they weren't here, but that was some time ago now. When I was doing the Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan history, and then I did the Saskatchewan Land Surveyors Association history, and then I did the Saskatchewan Mining Association history, and then I did a history of the Saskatchewan Mining Association's mine rescue competition. That was probably the last thing I did, but I might have been in here. And that's not that long ago now, but still a few years. Ooh, nice Corvette. Looking pretty there in the sun with the green behind it. So yes, I'm going to repeat a short segment of this walk, but very short. Sue me, what can you do me? It's my podcast. It's not a podcast, it's more of a vlog. I guess I'd call it a vlog. I talk enough about that random things that it's kind of like blogging, only it's video, so it's a vlog, which is a really ugly word. Sue me, shoot bullets through me. That's from Guys and Dolls, and my wife and I sang that for a show we were in before Christmas. And if you look, was it before Christmas or was it in February? It wasn't before Christmas. It was more like in the spring, early spring. Anyway, if you look on my YouTube channel, you can find that. And find my daughter singing Tonight at 8, is that what it's called? And me doing All Four Nuns from Maria from The Sound of Music. You know, she climbs a tree and scrapes her knee, her dress has got a tear. That one. I did all 4 nun parts. And then they were stitched together to make a very humorous video. I'll walk through a very small pine forest here. We'll go this way so I don't have to duck. Or goose. And then we'll go building over here this time. And that is its rather uninspired name, College Building. There was a time I came to this building every Monday to do a science column to be the science guest, I guess, with Colin Brewer. I did that for 17 years, every week. Even when I was traveling, I'd phone in and do it. I did one live, well, not live. Yeah, it was live. I guess it was live. Live from Rogers Pass. I did one on a payphone from the Toronto subway system. Other interesting places like that. They got antsy about me having been on so long, and that was the end of it. I did a few more short-term things, like things I found in my mother-in-law's house, and I did one about interesting websites. That was so long ago, that was still a thing. But alas, the science column and all of that died eventually. Colin Brewer left, moved to Victoria, and CBC quit using as many freelancers, and thus my radio career ground to a halt. That was a good run, and they paid. I mean, that was the main thing. Well, it wasn't the main thing. The main thing was it was a great thing to do, but getting paid, since I was 100% a freelancer, not when it started. When it started, I was still communications officer for the Saskatchewan Science Centre, but when I quit at the Science Centre in '93, they let me keep doing, there's proof that this is accessible now. They let me keep doing the science column, which I most gladly did. It's the back entrance of the college building. So there's the old part. There was an old wing here, but it was in such bad shape they tore it down and built a brand new wing. There's a dance studio up there named after my mother-in-law, Dr. Alice Goodfellow Hodges, who's helped support the project. And there's also a room in there with my wife and my names on it, a multi-purpose room. And thanks for our support. Things like that have a tendency to be sometimes short-lived. When they need money, they auction off the rights again, but hopefully that won't happen anytime soon. So there's still a lot of construction going on back here. There's the back of Dark Hall. I've been in that door many times, loading in sets and things. And we used to, back when we did our shows here, have cast photos around this tree here, which was usually flowering or budding or turning green, whatever you want to say, at the time of our show, which was always the week after the long weekend in May. We always used the long weekend for our final rehearsals because you got that Monday off and could do dress rehearsal and stuff. There's the back of the Credit Union building. Over here is the pool. Not quite ready for swimming in just yet. So we'll cut through the grass here to pick up the path that I was on earlier. Oh, there goes another hare. A little more skittish than the first one I ran into. sound the bottom. Crunch, 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 crunch. Yeah, there's usually kind of an ornamental garden here, but I don't think they even tried to do that this year with the work going on in the pool. And whether they'll resume it or not, I don't know. So there's the back of the Museum of Natural History over there. Royal Saskatchewan Museum, I should say. Some trees haven't quite decided to give up the ghosts and have a little color in them, but they're ending more and more toward barren leaves, or barren twigs. I presume they'll just keep working all winter here. I don't know if they're trying to have it ready in time for swimming season next year. Wouldn't think they could get there that fast, but I could be wrong. That cool sculpture over there. I've walked over there before, and of course there's the lake, but that's Friday's walk, not today's. Yet another dog, big one. Lots of park benches back there in the trees. Picnic tables, I mean. Lots of leaves to crunch in. Of course, this path brings us to Speaker's Corner from the back. And you know what? Let's take this little trail through the woods. Just because clearly other people do. Or there wouldn't be a trail. Except I actually wanted to go over there, so I'm going that way. See how the red brick marks Speaker's Corner with its lanterns that used to stand in Hyde Park. Speaker's Corner. Now I could use the crosswalk. Or I could go under and just avoid stopping traffic. I'll take the tunnel. Sneak peek of Friday's attraction, the lake. Oh, looks like we're back to just Canadian flags flying on the bridge. I figured they would change at the beginning of the year. Beginning of the month, I mean. Painting leaves in here. And I'll walk along here because I don't normally do this either. This side of Albert, past this house. I normally walk along on 19th, I think that is. Some of these houses along here, nicely lit up by the morning light. This will take us by the Grasshopper again. Nice one. I like the half-timbered look, as I've mentioned before. Faux Elizabethan, I guess you'd call it. So the museum is right over there. Someone mowing grass. There's one for sale if you're looking. Morning. Huh? Said morning. Morning. This one's for sale too. Has a nice archway in front of it. We'll go to the alley over there, which takes us back onto and Davin School ahead of us, just like when I go down the other alley I go down. Oh, let's walk down the alley. I didn't expect to encounter anyone. And this intersects with the alley I usually take when I come back in this direction. There's still some sunflowers hanging on, though these are looking a little tired, very tired. Oh, but there's a pretty flower still enjoying the fact that it hasn't frosted yet. And in fact, it's supposed to be 27 today, so it might be a record, I don't know. Davin again, still in front of us. Almost home. How long did I make it run? But a little extra shucking and jiving, I got to 50 minutes. That's not bad. But not a single person said hello on either YouTube or Facebook. That is unusual. So I wonder if my feed was working. Oh well. You're probably watching the recording. And if you heard me say that, you know it's working. So here we go. We will stop here. Thanks for walking with me. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.